Nitai Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jai Jai Sri Pad, Sri Pad, Srila Sri Pad, Jai Jai Gurudev, 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 Srila Gurudev, Jai Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai
Hari Bol.
Hari 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 Bol. Bolo Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. निताय गौरांग भगवान जय जय श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
देवाय। आराध्यो भगवान् ब्रजेश तनय श्रद्धाम वृंदावनम रम्य काचिदुपासना ब्रजवधू वर्गेण या कल्पिता श्रीमद् भागवतं प्रमाणममलं प्रेम पुमर्थो महान् श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभोर्मतमिदं तत्रादरो न परम्। Welcome everyone to this transcendental program of studying Bhagavad Dharma, the supreme dharma or the supreme duty of the humankind, targeting to attain the highest possible fortune, attainable possible fortune for the human soul. We are studying the Prema Bhakti Chandrika currently by Sri Narottam Das Thakur, who is so wonderfully, so systematically establishing for our absolute understanding and also for encouraging us, safeguarding us, making us feel promoted and still stay ever greedy to attain that highest perfection of Sri Radha Dashyam, which is in accordance to our Swarup or identity, is the highest achievement. And how important is association? And ultimately, after having taken the shelter under the lotus feet of the spiritual master, how one must safeguard oneself from bad association. In our Vaishnava culture of cultivating a culture of Krishna consciousness, very much emphasizes on the principle of avoiding the bad association. Asat Sangha Chhadi, a Vaishnava Achar. As much as good association we cultivate and wonderful things we do, but because of our long-rooted, deep-rooted association with the asat or with the unwanted or the temporary, detrimental, because our soul is hankering for eternal bond of love. But since we got used to finding that eternal bond of love in the temporary world, which is not possible, so it's a mismatch. So this is not the place we must aspire to become eternally happy. So anything which causes our attachment to this temporary world and its relations and its dealings, that is very worrisome. And through satsang, through association, primarily of the shelter of the spiritual master and other like-minded, sajatiya devotees and god brothers and god sisters, or other spiritual master like stalwart devotees, we find ourselves in their association or under the direction of their good advice, then we can safeguard ourselves and we can sustain our progressiveness on this path of absolute perfection. So a lot of things are mentioned. We completed the Guru Vandana, and towards the end we studied that how Lord Krishna tells his confidential associate and devotee Uddhavji the importance of satsanga. Very famous statement by Lord Krishna. न रोधयति माम योगो न सांख्यम धर्म एव च न स्वाध्यायस तपस्त्यागो निष्ठा पूर्तम न दक्षिणा व्रतानि यज्ञश्चंदांसि तीर्थानि नियमः यमः यथावरुद्धे. As much as satsang or for from a sadhak, his interest or his attachment for the association of pure devotees, that act impresses Krishna the most. Krishna says, nothing else impresses me as much. And Krishna is telling that because you are my dearmost friend and servant, therefore I will tell you a great secret. Krishna is considering revealing the secret, what pleases or impresses him the most. He says all the processes in the name of Ashtanga Yoga or Sankhya, discrimination, of the truth, religious principles like non-violence or adherence to Varnashram Dharma, recitation of the Vedas, penances, sannyas ashram, performance of fire sacrifices, making gardens, digging wells, giving charity, performing vows, worshipping the demigods, reciting mantras, visiting the holy places of pilgrimage, following regulative principles of performing home sacrifices, all these endeavors, all the very good, somehow to cause benefit to others, but ultimate benefit to oneself is caused only when one takes unconditional full shelter of a pure devotee who by definition is himself fully surrendered through his words, mind, and actions in the service of the Lord. The purest loving sentiment is manifest in his heart. So if one associates or takes shelter under such a person, then the loving sentiment which is manifest in his heart becomes contagiously transferred to the person who associates with him. So association with saints is the highest attainment for everyone. Tato du sangam utsrijya satsu sajjeta buddhiman santah evashi chindanti mano vyasanga mukti bhi. Rather, the proper association with the saintly person, proper association with the sadhu, the one who is imbued with love of God in his heart, it will change our direction, it will change our condition, because our intelligence or the title of becoming intelligent is given only when one becomes attached to the association and directions of a pure devotee. Tato du sangam utsija. As an effect of that is a condition soul's engrossment in the asat sangha, a bad association, detrimental to his attaining the perfection of his human potential. That is taken out. Because association with a saintly person, association with a pure devotee, association with Sri Guru literally means no time and space for any bad association, unwanted association. Because when one becomes attached to someone, then one becomes his or hers and follows only his or her ways of liking and avoiding his or her ways of dislikings. Correct? So this is what every human being may be proud of one's intelligence, being very intelligent. But and what by definite intelligence means, given the multiple options, one should be able to pick the best one. So only when a conditioned soul becomes attached to a saintly person or a pure devotee, then he inevitably will pick the right one only. But if he is not following or if he has not become attached to a pure devotee, then inevitably he will pick the wrong one. So that much difference is there. One can destroy one's attachments for the objects of sense gratification. Such purifying association brings. Krishna says, one who chooses to associate and devote to the service of a pure devotee and become eventually attached to a pure devotee, this action impresses Krishna. Yes, this is what I want. The mercy which I want to bestow upon you, my pure devotee is the storehouse or the repository of the mercy. And through his avenue, anybody who takes shelter and humbly serves, then naturally, a pure devotee, a bona fide spiritual master, naturally reveals all transcendental secrets to a sincere disciple. Correct? So that is what we studied. Now in today's shloka, which is establishing the lineage of pure devotees specifically to bestow that highest fortune. All spiritual fortune or which connects us or causes our absorption and causes our hankering to attain the supreme is all absolute, no doubt about it. But the highest perfection possible for a sadhaka is revealed and exposed by Mahaprabhu, that lineage is very, very important for us. So that's why in today's sloka, sloka number 8, Nautam Das Thakur is giving a very specific, unique connection to the original associates of Mahaprabhu who advented with him to establish his Manokrishna. Sri Chaitanya Manokrishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Yes Pradantikam. So in that prayer, so second sloka was also that was also the blessing. But here, what was so special about Sri Rupa Sanatana Goswami? That is what is going to be discussed today. Such an amazing expression of appreciation for the work and the role of Sri Rupa Sanatana Goswami for the benefit of us all. So we try to capture the level of appreciation which is expressed here in few lines. And those who have gone deep into that appreciation, they have left their explanation for us. So we are simply reaping the sowing of the seeds of pure devotional service. So immediate onus on all of us is that how can we not fully be eager to take which is so easily, so directly given to us. Jaya Sanatana Rupa Prema Bhakti Rasa Kupa Jugala Ujjvala Mayatanu Jahare Prasade Loka Pasarilo Sab Shoka Prakata Kalapataru Janu. All glories to Sanatana and Rupa Goswami, the wells of the nectar of loving devotion, the wells. They are compared to the wells of nectar of loving devotion. So every word used in their appreciation has a very deep meaning. We will try to explore. Their bodies are filled with the blazing flavors of the pastimes of the divine couple. By their grace, a wish-yielding tree was manifest to remove all the distress of the people. By their grace, a wish-yielding tree was manifest. Wow. Kalpataru that is found in the spiritual world or heavenly planets. We don't find kalpatarus or the wish-yielding trees in this material world, but directly or more than wish-yielding tree. So the manifestation of Rupa Sanatana Goswami in this world, they have caused a greater benefit, or they have exposed, or they have revealed how one can be benefited greater than even by getting the blessing of a kalpataru. Wish-yielding tree, it can give us, it also has a limit what it can give. But Rupa Sanatana Goswami, they are compared as a manifest protection form of wish-yielding tree to remove all the distress of the people. So, how the bodies are very existence, very manifestation of Rupa Sanatana Goswami. Their bodies, their presence, their countenance, filled with the blazing flavors of the divine pair. Flavor. So what is the flavor of the divine couple? Conjugal rasa, Adi rasa, Ujjvala rasa, Rati rasa. because Radha Krishna, they are the eternal and only Chin Mithun, transcendental. Mithun means couple, who are, in order to relish the mellow of love, enjoying each other. They are the only hero and the heroine. Everyone else is given the chance to participate in their service. The supreme hero and the supreme heroine, when they are conducting their conjugal pastimes, the very thought of it, very description, very vision is so invigorating that one will lose any attraction even to the deep-rooted conjugal affair of this world. This is the potency. And Rupa Sanatana Goswami here manifests the conjugal attraction of the divine couple to such an extent that it causes a conditioned soul to lose any attraction for the conjugal affairs of this world. That is the potential. So the subject matter which is being discussed here and what they have brought to us is very, very sublime. How much our hankering and the desire to become so attuned to that rasa, the divine mellow, and how much we can progressively increase our appraisal to their divine play and become desirous or greedy to become their eternal associate. So that great fortune is revealed by Mahaprabhu, and Rup Sanatan have pioneered, they have taken the lead to spread that message. So in this Tripadi, Sri Thakur Nautam Das, proclaims the glories of the greatest Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, Sri Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, and mentions their extraordinary gift to humanity. First he says, Jaya Sanatana Rupa. The word Jaya indicates Sri Rupa and Sanatan's supreme status. Jaya, all glories, correct? All glories means everybody surrenders to them. Anybody who is recognized with his supreme status, then everybody bows down. So when we express the word Jai, means we are accepting, honoring their supreme status. Is the greatest stalwart devotee associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who have done the pioneer role in establishing the inner heart's desire of Mahaprabhu to bestow the highest fortune of Sri Radha Dashyam to the conditioned fallen souls like us. So of all the different gifts of Sriman Mahaprabhu, the elevated, brilliant and unprecedented practice of Manjari Bhav, that is the unprecedented. Of course, Mahaprabhu gave Sankirtan, Mahaprabhu gave dancing, feasting, everything wonderful as he was service. But ultimately, all these practices in connection with Mahaprabhu must culminate into our developing highest attraction towards the gift which Mahaprabhu ultimately wants to give. This Manjari, the practice of Manjari Bhava, the service of Srimati Radharani, that is the greatest form of devotion. And Sri Rupa and Sanatan Goswami have practiced and preached it to the utmost. Their literature demonstrates. It's amazing. As if they is a sadhaka or the practitioners of Manjari Bhava, they are the siddhas, they are the perfected being. They are directly the Rupa Manjari, like that. But they have demonstrated They lived in such a way as if they're hankering for it in order to attract our attention. Yes, even to hanker for Radharasham is so blissful, so absorbing, so delightful. So they became the idol or ideal for us to follow in their footsteps. So knowing them to be extraordinarily qualified for preaching devotion, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in nutshell, he personally gave lots of instructions, but the literature which Rup Sanatana Goswami wrote, they only elaborated the, the instructions given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So as much time Mahaprabhu was with Rup Sanatana Goswami, he personally gave elaborate instructions on devotional principles and the principles of transcendental flavors to Sri Sanatana Goswami in Kashi and to Sri Rup Goswami in Prayag. And then he kindly empowered or inspired them to preach and practice it. So this role given by Mahaprabhu and perfected in their practice. So this is also Kavi Karnapur has written in his Chaitanya Chandrodaya drama this special role or the status of Sri Rupa Sanatana Goswami. Kalena Vrindavana Keli Varta. What a beautiful sloka. Kalena Vrindavana Keli Varta Lukte Titam Khyapaitum Vishishya Upa. Many times it's easier to read in Hindi, na? Kripamritenaabhishite cha devas tatraiva rupascha sanatanascha. It says, in due course of time, the holy place is connected with Sri Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. Unique role played by Rupa Sanatana Goswami. Is acknowledging that. Kavi Karnapur is acknowledging that in his drama which he has written, that in due course of time, the holy places connected with Sri Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan had become lost. But Sriman Mahaprabhu had showered Sri Rup Sanatan with his grace or power so that they could reveal them to the world once more for the sake of preaching those pastimes. So from this statement, we can learn of Sri Rupa Sanatan's elevated position within the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. In our Sampradaya, we are all called Rupanugas. Although we are in the lineage of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his teaching in Kripa is his, no? But his Kripa, the fashion in which it would be approaching the condition source like this, Rup Sanatana Goswami has established the way. That's why we are not called Chaitanya Nuga. Anuga means following in the footsteps. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu demonstrated different moods. Sometimes he was in Krishna mood as God, sometimes as a devotee, sometimes in the mood of Radharani, sometimes in the mood of a Manjari. So which sentiment of Mahaprabhu we can focus on? No? We cannot follow Mahaprabhu. That's why one who should be followed for our utmost benefit is the Rupa Sanatana Goswami. So that's why we are called Rupanuga. So apart from that, in Sri Vrindavan, no one equals Sri Rupa Sanatan in that regard. Their practice of bhajana, renunciation, dispassion, and relishing of loving flavors all remain exemplary for everyone. So here, like the pole star, many times we find many devotee sadhakas amongst us also contemporary that they sometimes show tremendous sentiments, like we say, of relishing wonderful pastimes and listening katha Charita. But other things, the dissipation for the worldly things, that may be missing in them. Some people may be demonstrating tremendous practice of bhajan, even renunciation. So, two things, they all have to go together, correct? Because if there is no dissipation or detachment from the worldly relishments or worldly sense gratification, then we cannot mix the two things. So the practice of bhajan, renunciation, dissipation, and relishing, then one can relishing of loving flavors. So their example is very exemplary. If you want to gauge our progressiveness on this path of pure devotional service, the behavior of Rupa Sanatana Goswami is very, very encouraging. Because how can we let the relishment of the divine flavor of the divine kappa dilute by still sustaining our passion for other things, isn't it? We cannot be fully passionate for more than one thing. That's the idea. So Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has written about their exemplary bhajan. How all the associates of Mahaprabhu valued Rupa Sanatana Goswami. So there it is described that Mahaprabhu jato bado bado bhakta matra. Mahaprabhu jato bado bado bhakta matra. Rupa Sanatana sabar kripa gaurav patra और प्राप्त केहो यदि देशे जाए देखी वृंदावन तारे प्रश्न करे न प्रभु पारिषद गण कहो ताहा कैछे रहे रूप सनातन कैछे रहे वैराग्य कैछे बा भोजन कैछे अष्ट प्रहर करेन श्री कृष्ण भजन तबे प्रशंसिया कहे से भक्त गण अनिकेतन दोहे रहे. So let us say that all the great associates, devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were very proud of Sri Rupa and Sanatan. And Rupa Sanatan, they were the recipient of their blessings and bestowed their grace upon them. Different associates of Mahaprabhu, they were not all living in Vrindavan. They were living in Gauda Desh or Utkal Desh, like that. So if someone traveled from his country to see Vrindavan, devotees go to Vrindavan from different places of India, so from Bengal also. So somebody went to Vrindavan and then he comes back, correct? Then he would be asked by the Lord's associates. What they would ask, among many things, tell me, how do Rup and Sanatan live there in Vrindavan? How renounced are they? How do they eat? How are they performing 24-hour worship of Sri Radha Krishna? Then that devotee who happened to visit Vrindavan, then that devotee would glorify Rupa Sanatana as follows. अनिकेतन दोहे रहे जतो वृक्ष गण एक एक अभिक्षेर तले एक एक रात्रि शयन विप्रगृहे स्थूल भिक्षा कहाँ मधुकरी शुष्क रुटि चाना चावाय भोग परिहरी करो या मात्र हाथे काथा काथा छिड़ा बहिर्वास कृष्ण कथा कृष्ण नाम नर्तन उल्लास अष्ट प्रहर कृष्ण भजन चारि दंड शयने नाम संकीर्तने से हो नहीं कोनो दिने कभु भक्ति रस शास्त्र कर ये लेखन चैतन्य कथा सुने करे चैतन्य चिंतन यही कथा सुनिया महान तेरे महासुख है यही कथा सुनिया महान महासुख है चैतन्य कृपा जहाँ तहाँ की विस्मय. Then the devotee would describe, after being asked by the great stalwart devotees of Mahaprabhu, he would say about Sri Sanatana Goswami, he would say, they have no fixed abodes, but rather they sleep under a different tree every night. They either bake raw food like wheat or flour from the Brahmins' houses or do madhukari, eating whatever they get from a number of houses. The word madhukari means, madhu means a bumblebee. Bumblebee, goes to one flower, takes little, then moves on to another and another. It takes only as much she becomes satisfied. So in the same way, they would collect madhukari from few houses, eating whatever they get from a number of houses. They eat only dry rotis, chapatis, renouncing the enjoyment of luxurious food. In their hands, they carry only kauras or earthen pot, just to beg alms. And on their bodies, they only wear torn quilts and outer garments, ordinary, very. They dance of joy when they speak of Krishna and sing his name. They worship Krishna 24 hours a day and recline for just an hour, take rest for just an hour and a half. But on days when they get deeply absorbed in singing Krishna's names, they do not even sleep at all. Sometimes they compose Rasika scriptures and sometimes they hear topics on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and think of him. Hearing this news, the leading devotees would be very happy and they will just express their great wonder or great appreciation rather. What is so astonishing for one who has received Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grace? They would say, it's not at all astonishing. Although it is the most astonishing for others, but for those who have received the direct grace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what is so astonishing for one who has received Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grace? So from this we can learn of the special elevated status of Sri Rupa Sanatana Goswami, correct? Another meaning of Jai. Jai means when we say obeisances to any stalwart person or superiors, we say Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Gurudev, Jai Sri Krishna, like that. So that Jai, that expression of most glorious position, someone who is celebrated as the most blessed, for him is a Jai, Jai Hari Bol. So Srila Nauttam Das Thakur offers his humble obeisances to Sri Rupa Sanatana Goswami's lotus feet, to glorify them. So so one by one, he's elaborating. First of all, he says that Sri Rupa Sanatana are Prema Bhakti Rasa Kupa. Kupa means the well, to draw the water from. A well of tasty, loving devotion. Earlier, all the wonderful qualities, of Rupa Sanatana Goswami. Why they were so dispassionate or renounced from worldly affairs, because one cannot have patience for simultaneously for two opposite things. Correct? Passion means deep attachment. So if one is deep attached to one thing, one will simultaneously also demonstrate deep dispassion for other things. We cannot have patience for two opposite things. So, as we heard about their renunciation, dispassion, and exemplary bhajan, so we should not think that you know because many times people have this idea, oh, people just live beggar's life, renunciates and everything. It is not, from worldly point of view, it is considered as very elevated position. But the amazing thing is, along with their this passion for worldly affairs and renunciation, they also created, or they also wrote, or they demonstrated the highest ideal of a raga bhajana, for the loving devotional practice, and also for the benefit of others. They have written, they have compiled so much literature of this pure devotional service. So if someone, just by from their external demeanor of renunciation, having no abode of their particular, moving from one place to another every night, So if someone starts considering them to be ordinary practitioners, it is said they were Prema Bhakti Rasakupa. Rasakupa. Sri Rup Sanatan are the Lord's eternal associates in Braja, named Sri Rupa Manjari and Lavanga Manjari. Prem Bhakti Rasakupa. Kupa means a special collection of rasa in the well. So they are the treasure which they not only relish but also left for us to relish, or the means whereby we can also relish those loving sentiments of pure devotional service in the form of literature. So they are compared to Bhakti Rasa Kupa, the well of Bhakti Rasa, or mellow of pure devotional Prema Bhakti. Because they are Rup Manjari and Lavanga Manjari. Together with Srimad Mahaprabhu, they have descended to the earth as his associates to preach the practice of Rasika, Braja Bhakti, Rasamaya, Braja Bhakti. Just as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is constantly immersed in relishing the sweetness of Sri Radharani's prema in Radha Bhava, although he is himself the joint manifestation, avatara of Radha Krishna. In identity, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, but in his disposition, in his bhav, in his rupa, disposition is rupa, in his sentiments, in his countenance, in his appearance, he is he's demonstrating Radharani's mood, means and with the mood of with the love sentiments of Srimati Radharani, he is relishing his own beauty, the sweetness of his own beauty. So he relishes the flavors of devotion in practice, thinking himself to be an ordinary practitioner with strict precision. Similarly, Sri Rup and Sanatan Goswami are relishing the mellows of bhajan just like practicing devotees. So in one sense, if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also demonstrating as a practicing devotee, and also Rupa Sanatan Goswami, then why can we also follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly? Because what Mahaprabhu, although demonstrates, sometimes is a devotee, but he's not a devotee. He's God himself. So his activities, they are very independent Lord, and so he's demonstrating different moods. But Rupa Sanatana Goswami, they are relishing the mellow bhajan just like practicing devotees, although they are the Lord's eternal associates. Actually, they are Prema Bhakti Rasa Kupa, wells with a flavor of loving devotion. The question may be raised here. We have heard of the boundless love that Sri Rupa Sanatan had for the lotus feet of Sriman Mahaprabhu and Sri Radha Krishna. And we see the huge storehouse of books that they have been written. So their contribution should be compared to the ocean of Prem Bhakti Rasa. Correct? Huge storehouse of books that they have written, each filled with loving syllables. It would be proper to call them oceans of loving devotional flavors, correct? Why the whales? Whales are very small compared to the ocean size. Why does Srila Thakur Nautam calls them just whales instead of the ocean? The ocean is, the answer is, the ocean water is not the best water, correct? The ocean is mixed with, all the ocean, as far as size is concerned, is all right, but concentrated nectar cannot be, compared to ocean. You got the vastness can be, but when it becomes concentrated, it just free from all the unwanted stuff. The ocean is mixed with water from different incoming rivers, but well water is not mixed with any other water. It remains always itself pure. In the same way, the loving devotional flavors that are preached by Sri Rup Sanatan are most pure. They are not mixed with jnana or yoga or so, nor with feelings of awe and reverence of Vaikuntha. It is most pure and completely sweet. Secondly, the water of the ocean is mixed with salt and is therefore unfit for drinking. The water of rivers and ponds are very hot in the summer and muddy as well. See the comparison. See the unique feature of well water. So they are also not nice to drink. Well water, however, is both cool and tasty. In the same manner, jnana, yoga, etc. are never able to stop the suffering and lamentation of the conditioned souls that are constantly afflicted by the pains of this Kali Yuga, this age of Kali. Only loving devotion is able to soothe their life airs. Loving devotion soothes the burning pangs of the suffering and lamentation in material existence for the conditioned souls. Loving devotion alone soothes the burning pangs of the suffering and lamentation in material existence for the conditioned souls and blesses them with a relish of Sri Krishna's nectarian sweetness. So, Sri Rupa and Sanatan are called Prema Bhakti Rasa Kupa, not Sagar or the ocean. Since they are the shelter of this most sweet and cooling juice of loving devotion. Wow. Actually, the extent of their loving devotion was not as small as the contents of a well. Actually, the extent of their loving devotion was not as small as the content of a well. It is vast and deep as an ocean. The flavors of devotion, the flavors of loving devotion that dwell in their hearts are manifest in the form of the books they compose. And even now, thousands of people escape or benefit from the relief from the fire of the threefold material miseries by diving in the rasa well of these books. Become blessed with the relish of the flavors of loving devotion and will forever remain blessed. And of this there is absolutely no doubt. So they are Prema Bhakti Rasakupa. Then he describes calling them Sri Rupa Sanatan Yugala Ujjvala Maya Tanu. Their very bodies, Tanu means body, which means that their bodies are made of the brilliant transcendental erotic mellow, Rati Rasa, Rati flavor, conjugal mellows. So Rupa Sanatan Goswami's bodies are made of the brilliant transcendental erotic mellows. Or Yugal, Yugal means divine couple. Ujjval Ras means conjugal. The conjugal mellow of the Yugal means divine couple Sri Radha Krishna. Well, in one sense, we can say that even the bodies of Sri Radha Krishna are made of the Yugal Rasa. Shyamam evam param rupam puri madhu parivaram. Deyam keshorakam vaya kaishorakam deyam adi evam param rasa. The rasa, melo, adi means Ujjval rasa. So it is describing the Swarupa or the identity of Krishna. When we say identity of Krishna, it includes Srimati Radharani also. Of course, Radharani ever, in an unmanifest way, resides in the heart of Krishna is the Hladini Shakti. But it does not, but Krishna, the kind of fulfillment he is hankering, or as a Rasika Shekhar, Krishna is Shyam Sundar, causes the relishment in all the living entities. But Krishna is also Rasik Shekhar. When he wants to relish the mellows. As we said that Krishna is the source of mellow, the rasa for everybody. Everybody also includes him. So when Krishna wants to become the relisher, then who provides the relish for him? At that time, the Hladini Shakti, the pleasure-giving potency of Krishna, becomes manifest outside as Srimati Radharani. And so now this conjugal mellow becomes manifest when the divine couple manifests, not alone as a Krishna form. Although Radha Krishna Eka Atma, in identity both are one, both are God. But when it comes to relishment requires two. So one becomes one couple. Couple means two bodies. One identity but two bodies, and two bodies have different roles, because in love exchange, one has to become the object of love and another has to become the lover. So of course, in their exchange, primarily we appreciate Krishna's form as the object of love, Prema Vishaya, and Radharani as the lover. But when they become so absorbed in each other, engrossed in each other, they forget as to who the object is and who is the lover. They exchange their role. And for each other, for Krishna, Radharani is the object of love, Krishna is the lover. And for Radharani, Krishna is the object of love, she is the lover. So, but as we see the role, the predominating moiety, Krishna and the predominated moiety. Moiety means have. In the practice of relishing the loving sentiments, mellows, both roles are complementary to each other. And Rupa Sanatan Goswami, demonstrate the loveliness or the beauty of this conjugal affairs of the divine couple. And that's why they also became so absorbed in this description of the conjugal melo of the divine couple. So here Nautama Thakur is describing Rup Sanatan Goswami is the Yugala Ujjvalamay Tanu, which means that their bodies are made of the brilliant transcendental erotic or conjugal melos, or Yugala Ujjval Rasa, that also form, means this transcendental conjugal melos also, which is called Yugala Ujjval Rasa, also form the bodies of Sri Radha Krishna. So how intimately connected Rup Sanatan are to the divine couple? So this Yugala Ujjvala Rasa, Yugal means couple, Ujjvala means conjugal, Rasa or melo. So this divine couple's conjugal melo is the greatest of all rasas. There are 5 main bhakti rasas, devotional flavors. So very comparatively, the supreme status of conjugal melo is described here. The 5 rasas, Shanta, Dashya, Sakhya, Vatsalya and Madhur. The Shanta rasa is called tranquility, you know. And Dashya rasa is called servanthood. Sakhya rasa is called friendship. Vatsalya rasa is called parenthood. And sweet, you know. Parenthood and the sweet, brilliant, erotic love, which is called Ujjval Rasa. Since the attributes of feeling of the preceding 4 rasas are included in it, in the Ujjval Rasa. Ujjval Rasa means which represents Radha Krishna's divine affairs, conjugal affairs. That's called Ujjval Rasa. So in Ujjval Rasa are contained all the features of previous melos of tranquility, servanthood, friendship, parental. How is it so? It is so wonderfully described through an example. How the Madhura, brilliant or erotic conjugal rasa or melo is the greatest of them all. In this connection, Srimad Mahaprabhu's following words of instruction to Sri Rupa Goswami Pad are found in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Very wonderfully, we can read the Bengali, but we can go directly to the translation itself, you know. Correct? So it says that the true attributes, they will describe all the melos. The true attributes of Shantarasa or tranquil flavors are, which are the 2 special features of Shantarasa or the tranquil flavor? Loyalty to Krishna. They appreciate Krishna. They stick to Krishna. And renunciation of material desires. They become absorbed in relishing the beauty of Krishna so much, and they even stick to him. Loyalty, which is called Krishna Nishtha. Nishtha means loyalty. You stick with one. So they stick with Krishna because Krishna is most attractive, all attractive. So one who has found one's absorption in Krishna, how he wouldn't be fixed there? How he wouldn't be loyal to Krishna? And second is renunciation of material desires. When you find the absorption in the most relishing thing. So there's a beautiful sloka in Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 3rd chapter, text number 12, 2, 3, 12. Jnanam yada pratinivitti gunormi chakram आत्म प्रसाद उत यत्र गुणेश्व संग है कैवल्य सम्मत पथ पथ भक्ति योग है को निर्वृतो हरि कथा सुरतिम न कुर्यात्. So it is described when the Hari Katha, the description of Krishna's Radha Krishna love affairs, when they are so absorbing, who wouldn't take interest? Who wouldn't take interest in such Hari Kathas, which gives so much absorption, so much joy? So the two words appear in the same shloka. The words sound similar, but they have the opposite meaning. The first line says, Jnanam yada pratinivitta. Pratinivitta means which becomes frees you. This transcendental knowledge describing the loving mellows of the divine couple. They simultaneously, what they do? Jnanam yada pratinivitta. Gunormi chakram. All the attractions or all the engrossment in the three modes of material nature and the concomitant effect, the ocean of the three modes of material has many waves of which are pushing and throwing us here and there. So it frees one. It this transcendental culture of Krishna consciousness, where we relish the beautiful Nam Rupa Gun Lila, relishing the name, the form, the qualities, and the pastimes of Krishna. And it causes the absorption. The fourth line says, Ko nirvito. Nirvito means, nirvito literally means which frees one from everything else. What will free one everything else? It's like Krishna. Krishna is all attractive. Krishna is so attractive. There's a word to express him. So cunningly attractive. So cunningly attractive that it frees one from all other absorptions. Krishna is so utterly attractive. So nirvito means anything which frees one from other absorption. That means it must cause so much absorption that everything else which was unto this far was attractive, no more remains attractive. So nirvito, to such absorbing or so delightful that it frees one from all other attractions for others. Who wouldn't be interested in that thing? This way, so even in Shantarasa, in tranquil favor, a devotee becomes very much loyal to Krishna and he becomes renounced from all material desires. So these two attributes permeate all the devotees. The nature of tranquil devotees or Shantarasa devotee is that he cherishes not the slightest feeling of possessiveness towards Krishna. The nature of tranquil devotee is that he cherishes not the slightest feeling of possessiveness towards Krishna. His knowledge is mainly centered around Krishna's Paramatma and Param Brahma feature. He does not have that possessiveness with this. Krishna is mine. He doesn't go that far. He just from a distance, quietly, Shantarasa. Yes, Krishna is there. Krishna is sitting in the heart. I'm just observing him. Just don't bother him. Don't be bothered. He's like impassionate, or you can say it's kind of careless, inactive appreciation. His knowledge is mainly centered around Krishna's Paramatma and Param Brahma features. In a mood of tranquility, there is only knowledge of Krishna's philosophical status, that he is Param Brahma, he is Supreme, he is Paramatma. Whereas in servanthood, the second rasa, Dasya rasa, there is more of an awareness of Krishna being the Lord, full in six opulences. So in this awareness of Krishna's Godhead, there is an abundance of reverence and dignity. but the servant always gives great delight to Krishna with his service. So the Dasya Rasa, the sentiment of being a servant is superior to the sentiment of just having impassionate appreciation of Krishna, loyalty to Krishna. The mood of a servant has more of a service attitude than the mode of tranquility. Therefore, the mode of servanthood has two attributes. The tranquility's attribute and the service attitude. Because a servant also has tremendous loyalty towards Krishna, correct? And he also renounced from the material desires. So that feature of Shantaras or tranquility attitude is also included in the devotee who is primarily with the service attitude of servanthood. No? So he has two features. The devotee situated in Shantarasa has the quality of Shantaras and also the special quality of this service attitude of servanthood are included in the mood of friendship. Third is friendship. So friendship includes the quality of tranquility. Shantaras also quality of service. What is the special of friendship? In servanthood, in friendship, there is full faith and confidence as an additional attribute. Correct? There is a full faith and confidence. Means in friendship rather, servanthood. In friendship, there is a full faith and confidence as an additional attribute. Krishna climbs on his friends' shoulders and makes them mount his shoulders also. So there is a friendship, the sense of equality. There's no awe and reverence to create a distance like, oh, he's superior to me, so how can I do this? I should pray to him. Like, no, in friendship, there's equalness, there's full faith and confidence as an additional attribute. So without hesitation, Krishna and his friends climb on one another's shoulders, whenever required. So Krishna also becomes defeated. So they are equal. And they play combat tournaments. The friends not only serve Krishna, they also make him serve them. The mood of friendship. Sometimes Krishna is, in the kids, in sports, they always cheating involved. And cheating originated in Krishna, but cheating, but the friends of Krishna are so loyal to Krishna. They never cheat Krishna, but Krishna loves to cheat them. So when they figure out that Krishna is cheating, they express their displeasure. They say, Krishna, we are behaving properly with you. You have to behave properly with us. You cannot just cheat us. If you continue doing this, if you don't behave properly, if you don't play rightly, we are not going to play with you from tomorrow. So even they challenge Krishna. Although they are obsessed with Krishna, they wouldn't play anyone, but they also want to express their closeness and, on the same platform rather than creating a distance from him. So in friendship, they have that liberty and confidence that they can also tell Krishna that you are wrong. You have to behave nicely. Otherwise, we won't play with you. And Krishna says, no, 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 no. Don't say that. I cannot afford not to play with you. So they are able to control Krishna in that way. The friends not only serve Krishna, they also make him serve them. Wow. The mood of friendship is predominated by confidence and is devoid of awe and reverence. Therefore, friendship is recognized with three attributes. Here, the feeling of possessiveness is greater. the friends see Krishna as the equal. Hence, the Lord is subdued by the mood of friendship. Then comes the parental, Vatsalya Rasa. Parental love has the attribute of tranquility, the service attitude of servanthood, and their service bears the name of reading or taking care of Krishna. It has the attribute of absence of reverence and hesitation that are inherent to the mood of friendship. It has the attribute of absence of reverence and hesitation that are inherent to the mood of friendship, but has more qualities of possessiveness. And the parent can even chastise and punish Krishna. That much liberty the previous mellows don't have. They consider Krishna the reared or palya, one who is taken care of, rearing and caring. No? So they Krishna that he is dependent on us. The parents and the elderly gopis, they say Krishna is dependent on us, and if we don't direct him, if we don't properly take care of him, he may be spoiled. So they consider Krishna as the reared or dependent on them, and themselves as the responsible protectors. Since parenthood has 4 attributes, it is just like nectar. Those who think of Krishna as their child, they have special flavor. They think this is the highest, greatest treasure to be with Krishna as his parents. Then finally, after describing the glories of these 4 mellows, the highest mellow is being described. Madhura Rase Krishna Nishtha Seva Atishaya. In the conjugal mellow, there is great loyalty to Krishna and service attitude. The lack of hesitation characteristic to the mellow of friendship, and the feeling of possessiveness is also much more intense. Like the 4 qualities of the 4 previous rasas is also included in conjugal mellow. But what is a special, additional, unique, exclusive feature in the conjugal mellow? In the mood of a lover, the devotee serves Krishna with her own body or his own body. Her body or his body? Only her body. Because in conjugal affairs, only a maid servant is allowed. No male servant allowed. Because in that realm, there is only one male servant, and that is Krishna himself. He loves to play the role as a male servant, and there is no vacancy for any male servant. So those who still continue the attraction or the ambition to be a male servant of Krishna, they won't be allowed to enter the realm of service in the conjugal mood of the divine couple. Therefore, the conjugal mellow has 5 attributes. Just as the 5 gross elements, are endowed with 5 progressive attributes. Starting with sky. So sky has 1 symptom, the sound. So Shantara has only one feature. Sky having 1 attribute and ending with the earth having 5 attributes. Similarly, the conjugal mellow has the 5 attributes of all 5 mellows. Hence, it is the most relishable and astonishing of all mellows. Everybody knows the sky is only 1 feature, sound. That is compared to Shantarasa, the quiet appreciation. And the second is the sky further transformed into air. So air has the quality of the sky and also additional. So the attribute of sky is the sound, which is also found in air, but it is additional. It has the feature of touch. Right? Air, one can feel the touch, sense of touch. Then the air further transforms or Vikriti becomes no, becomes light. Correct? Because when air, lot of friction, then the fire comes out. So fire has 3 features. It has the feature of the sky, sound, because when fire is burning, it makes sound. It gives also sense of touch, but it also has it also has a vision. Seeing, we can see the fire. We cannot see the sky, we cannot see the air, but we can see the fire. But fire also has the sound of the sky and also the touch of the air. Then when too much heat, they converts into liquid. So the water. So water has the four features. The one feature of sky, in a, like sound, one feature of air, the touch, and the feature of the fire, which is the vision. And fire is additional. What is that? The water is additional feature. That is taste. Now the water further transform into earth. Earth has one additional feature of a smell. So earth is compared to the conjugal melosa, which is five aspects as we discussed. So when Vrindavan, so Braja's conjugal melo is linked to the great astonishment of extramarital affair, extramarital love. One thing to be made clear, in identity, Radha Krishna, the divine couple, are eternally the divine couple, eternally transcendental couple. So there is no question of Radharani is someone else's for Krishna, or Krishna is someone else's. Only Radharani is Krishna and Krishna is Radharani's. But in order to cause, to experience the sweeter or great astonishment of extramarital love, so this extramarital atmosphere is created by Yog Maya to make the meeting of Radha Krishna as if they are meeting out of extramarital love. Their love is eternally to each other, but they are put in such a atmosphere that they have to struggle many times because they are not able to openly meet each other. Since they are the eternal divine couple, if a married couple is sent on a mission to some country or some city where they are given a work where they have to find their connection of secrets from different other companies, and one person is employed in one company, the wife is employed in another company. Openly nobody knows that they are husband wife. But if they openly, then everything will be exposed. It's very confidential thing there, like in secret service. Who is whose wife is not known. But because the specific role to be played by the wife is a female, and specific role of the husband is a male person. But since they are husband wife, although they are not supposed, they are not allowed to meet freely in public, but nonetheless they will figure out how to deal eventually. So when they have to figure out and bypass all the obstacles and all the possibilities of getting spotted by the public, whenever they are able to meet, their meeting is very, very scripted, very, 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 actually not scripted, but very, very uncertain, and lot of anxiety. There is a possibility of unavailability. There is a possibility of having some obstacle, some issue comes, and one person becomes unavailable. Then both cannot meet. Correct? Radharani becomes unavailable because she's held back by some things, many things, different kinds. Krishna also sometimes having something happening. So this conjugal affairs appear like extramarital, and although Radha Krishna are God, but they are following the direction of Yoga Maya, so that whichever situation is created for them, they follow accordingly. Eventually, when they meet, their meeting is very, 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 very lovely. And those who hear about their affairs, like all of us, we know their tattva, we know their identity as the Supreme Court, so they don't convey any wrong feeling towards them. Oh, why they are acting like what message they are sending to the society like this. But it is just the loving affairs, and they are relishing the rasa. Every time the meeting appears as like a wondrous, chamatkar, most relishing. So that is the purpose. So one should not see them from any other point of view, as if they are doing anything out of place or not very good. So when the divine couple, the conjugal melo, the meeting is linked to the great astonishment of extramarital or conjugal or the parakia. Extramarital parakia rasa, lover. Its testiness attains an endless variety. Above all is the Yugala Ujjvala Rasa, or the relish of the melo of Sri Radha Krishna's incomparably sweet meeting. The Sakhis in the youth, Sakhis means the Radharani associates in her group or party of Sri Radhas, are blessed with the relish of this matchless sweetness of Radha Krishna, acting as if having extramarital love affair. Because they know they are the eternal divine couple. There's nothing wrong. So we can relish something so wonderful only when there's nothing wrong. Amongst them are again the maid servants of Srimati Radharani, who are the manjaris that are dedicated to the service of the divine pair while cherishing greater love for Radha than for Krishna. Bhavollasati, Radha Snehadika. They are always inclined or more biased toward Radharani all the times. Their relish is the greatest and most astonishing. Why? Because they are more intimately or more confidentially associated with Radharani. Sakhis, they don't enter the where the relishment or the conjugal relishment between the divine couple is going on. But the kinkaris, they are very confidential. They are able to perform without hesitation the service, even while the divine couple are engrossed with each other. But something they may need, and who will fulfill that need? Will the divine couple lose their engrossment? Somebody has to be that confidential that she can come in even in that position, no matter in how greatly engrossed the divine couple might be. But they can provide the necessary help. For they are able to witness the very confidential pastimes of Sri Radha and Krishna that even the Sakhis cannot behold. Their fish-like eyes freely swim in the ocean of bliss of these relishable pastimes. And at the same time, they become more blessed than blessed. They become more blessed than blessed. Super blessed. With the good fortune of engaging in their service according to their time, place and circumstance. They are so united with Srimati Radharani in feeling that Srimati considers them as non-different from her own divine form. Therefore, it's both sides. Therefore, they means who? The Kinkaris, they also means the divine couple. Therefore, they show no sign of any hesitation in beholding the divine pair, Sri Radha Krishna, at that time and engaging in their private service. So neither Radha Krishna show the hesitate in their presence, nor do they hesitate to enter that realm where where the divine couple are engrossed in a conjugal affair. Wow, how confidential are the Manjaris? They both they don't have hesitation to see each other. The divine couple don't hesitate to see in their presence, even in that condition. Nor do the Manjaris hesitate to go there if some service is needed. So at that time, engaging in their private service. What's more, as a result of their very wonderful oneness in feeling with Srimati, the signs of Krishna's enjoyment on Srimati Radharani's body is exactly reflected on their bodies as well. Can you imagine how close they are, how they are non-different in the sentiments, what Radharani feels in relation to Krishna, they become aware. That's why I say, what's more, as a result of their very wonderful oneness in feeling with Srimati Radharani, the signs of Krishna's enjoyment on Srimati Radharani's body is exactly reflected on their bodies as well. Therefore, the leaders of these externally perfect manjaris, who are they? Who are the leaders of these eternally perfect manjaris? Are Sri Rup Manjari and Sri Lavanga Manjari, who are Rupa and Sanatan in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. And they are called Yugala Ujjwal Mayatanu, the embodiment of Radha Krishna's brilliant amorous love. The question may now be raised, why would those who are Rajas or Vrindavan's eternally perfect Manjaris in Nikunja Mandir now humbly and eagerly perform such sadhana as if they are ordinary practitioners? The blessed author Nauttam Das Thakur explains this by saying, Jahare prasade lok, pasharilo sab lok, pasharilo sab shok, prakat kalap taru janu. By their grace, by the grace of Rup Sanatana Goswami, a wish-yielding tree was manifest to remove all the distress of the people. Actually, Brajas or Vrindavans, Nitya Siddha, they are eternal associate, eternal manjaris of Vrindavan, Nikunja Mandir, Sri Rup Manjari and Lavanga Manjari, have descended with Sri Gauranga, who is himself the joint form of Radha Krishna, to personally practice his beloved worship in the sweet, loving mood of Raja, and to preach it to the world as well by writing a huge storehouse of sacred books on the subject. By their grace, the people of the world attain the example, the ideal, others of how to practice this Braja devotion, Braja Bhakti. And though their books have attained knowledge, their books, and through these books, through their books, the common masses like all of us, we attain the knowledge on the principles of Sambandha, the soul's relationship with Krishna, Abhideya, the means to attain Krishna, and Prayojana, all of life, the love of God. We became conversant by the blessings, by the endeavor, by the writings of Rup Sanatana Goswami. We became aware of these things, how to attain, how to cause, how to lead the path, how to traverse the path of attaining perfection of our highest human potential, for the highest perfection of our human potential, so that they can forever be saved from the grip of the threefold mundane miseries. Wow, what a relief this literature, their direction, their connection is caused for the conditioned soul, cause the possibility of attaining higher taste, param dishpa nivartate. And as a result, so that we can forever be saved from the grip of the threefold mundane miseries, the repetition of birth and death, and the pangs of lamentation. However, the destruction of suffering and lamentation are only concomitant results of their teaching. If somebody is engrossed into such so low class thing, unless one is exposed to the higher level relishment, how can one give up the lower level engrossment? Actually, the people of the world have been blessed with the attainment of the loving service of the lotus feet of their most beloved Sri Radha and Krishna. And to reveal this, the blessed author said, Prakata Kalapa Taru Janu, meaning that Sri Rupa and Sanatana Goswami are like wish-yielding trees, descending to bestow the fruits of prema in the form of Manjari Bhava. That is part of Vrindavan's conjugal mellows. In this world, it is very, very difficult to find a wish-yielding tree, correct? Do we find the wish-yielding tree? It is the heavenly trees. Ochintamani Prakat Kalpa Vriksha. This is described in the Vaikuntha, the eternal abode. So either in the higher planets, we have no access to them, or in the spiritual world, we have yet to go there. So, what is our chance? What chance we stand to get the benefit of a wish-yielding tree? But this Rupa Sanatana Goswami they have themselves, they are the embodiment of a wish-yielding tree for us. That's why I say it is, in this world, it is very rare to find a wish-yielding tree. But Sri Rupa Sanatana are Prakata Kalpataru. Prakata means the best. Anything, as long as it remains unmanifest, it is not as attractive as when it becomes manifest, correct? So like God, we believe in, He's unmanifest to us. So when He becomes manifest, that effect is much, much greater, correct? So Rupa Sanatana Goswami are like the prakat or manifest kalpataru or manifest wish-yielding trees, which means that they reveal themselves to all people of the world and blessed everyone who lived in their time and blessed everyone else for the eternal future by promulgating the path of Prema Bhakti through their handwritten books that are filled with syllables of love. Another meaning of the word Prakata is the best. Sri Rupa Sanatana Goswamis are the best of all wish-yielding trees of the world. For ordinary wish-yielding trees can only give worldly objects to the petitioners. Correct? Whatever one desires, they can give. But what if somebody desires death? They can also give you death. They will not consider, oh, why this person is desiring a tiger, thinking of a tiger. Whatever you think, whatever you desire, it manifests. The wish-yielding tree is not worried about what you are asking, whether it will be detrimental to you, it will cause your own death. They don't have that discrimination. Correct? If somebody is asking for dirt, they will give also dirt. So that is the, but Rup Sanatan, their manifestation as a wish-yielding tree, they will only bestow the best thing. Even if somebody begs the wrong thing, somehow they will free him from that hankering and inculcate hankering for the ultimate thing in him. So the regular wish-yielding trees, they may give worldly objects to the practitioner, but they are unable to bestow prema. But Sri Rupa Sanatan are prema kalpataru. They bless those who take their shelter. They bless those who take their shelter by giving them the highest love of brother. Therefore, they are the greatest, or the prakat kalpataru, the best. Again, if someone out of ignorance asks something from a wish-yielding tree, which is not good for him, the tree will give it to him, even if it causes destruction. There's a story, a person very tired in jungle, he went, took shelter of a tree, but he didn't know this is the wish-yielding tree. So he said, oh, I'm very hungry, I wish somebody can provide me. And some mystical is the wonderful food somebody brought and just gave. And then, oh, I'm very sorry, and I'm very tired, so I want to, if I can have wonderful, very comfortable bed sheet or bed. So he got that one, and as he was sitting in the jungle, looking out, and he's thinking, oh my God, I'm in the jungle. Although I'm very fed well, I'm no more hungry, I'm also, but then he remembered tiger. Maybe some tiger can come and eat me. So a tiger came and ate him. So although he was under the wish-yielding tree, he could not protect himself. The tree could not protect him. The wish-yielding tree does not distinguish between what is good and what is not good for the applicant. But Rupa Sanatan, the greatest wish-yielding trees, will bless the applicant by giving him prema, even if he actually desires something else but Krishna. Other than Krishna, even if he desires, they will end up giving him only Krishna. For instance, in the village of Manakar, there was a poor Brahmin who attained a vision of a Kashishwar, Sri Vishwanath Shiva in dream. He was hankering for some material opulence, take care of certain things. So Lord Shiva gave him the dream. Go to Vrindavan and meet Sanatan Goswami in a dream. So Lord Shiva ordered him to go to Sri Sanatan Goswami to get a touchstone from him. However, when he attained the darshan and association of Sanatan Goswami Pada, he gave up his desire for the touchstone and became blessed with the treasure of prema. So what happened? Sanatan Goswami said, oh, you are looking for touchstone, Lord Shiva sent you? Okay, go and just in that dirt, I have thrown that touchstone which you are looking. So he really went and found the touchstone there. Okay, go. And then he was wondering, my God, touchstone, the greatest thing which he thought was in the world. And he just left it in the dirt. He must have something much more valuable. So he came back and he said, but you kept that touchstone in the dirt. You didn't value him at all. You have something more precious. Sanal goes, well, yes, I want that. Then you throw that touchstone in the Jamuna. You know? So he threw it. Then Sanatana Goswami initiated him and just gave him the way to attain the highest possible achievement of his human potential also. So this is a well-known story. This is the great difference between the best or Prakata wish-yielding trees, Sri Rupa, Sanatan, and the wish-yielding trees of this world. You know? Wow. What else to be discussed? I think we should stop here. And thank you for your patient listening. And we can invite for some questions, comments, or something else. Someone wants to share. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Shri Guru.
Hare Krishna. Well,
Shri Guru, very beautifully today you explained how Rup and Sanatan Goswami are Prema Kalpatarus, who are even better than the Vriksha Kalpataru, who will give us anything we want, either it is good or bad for us. But Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami will give sadhaka prem,
yes.
which is the highest. We see that
Mhm.
that same mercy in you, Shri Guru, that no matter who comes to you, you always give them the highest, most sublime Radha Prem Ras. By your association, even the most fallen would want to attain the service at the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. Hare Krishna, Shri Guru. Koti Koti Pranam.
Well, this is, we all want anchor, correct? So we should only discuss what is in our common interest, correct? Not in just selfish interest. And if our self-interest becomes common interest, that's why satsang. We should have no conflicting interest. In satsang, everybody should have common interest. And common interest, if it is highest, it would be very easy to give up which is not the highest. So we discuss here the highest self-interest and which can be for everyone. And we invite, we encourage to participate in everyone's highest self-interest. That is paramarth. If our swarth, if our selfish means one's individual interest is paramarthic, then let everybody have that as one's selfish interest, but it has to be common. So you cannot say your selfish interest and my selfish interest is different, can be different. No, it won't be. If it is highest, if your self-interest, in your self-interest, if you are targeting the highest for you, then we can also target the highest thing is our self-interest. So it is not so bad to be selfish in one sense, only if the selfish interest is the highest interest. Then we can have common bond. If the selfish interest is only self-centered, me and mine in misidentification. But if our identity is purified uh, as a aspiring, to become aspiring to be a choicest maid servant of Srimati Radharani. If that is even one can have that self-interest individually, then collectively also we will have no conflict of interest, because that fulfillment is available and possible for every one of us. So there is no competition, there is no envy, there is no putting someone down or anything. Rather, we can cherish the association of such like-minded associates and sadhakas, because we discuss only the highest self-interest, which is in the interest of everybody. Nobody left out. All right? So now, Prema Punita.
Pranam Shri Guru. Hare Krishna. So wonderful. And we are really lucky to be Rupanuks. And Shri Guru, your lecture, your satsang is not just words. You just make experience each and every bit of that. And your Shabd Sparsh Rupra Sagandh, everything was wandering in our home when even after you left us, Shri Guru. And it was feeling that every corner of the house was crying, Shri Guru. One thing I experienced was so divine that Shri Guru, whenever you saw any person, you just scanned him and you knew so well what the person is thinking or what will be his question or something which is deep secret in his heart also, Shri Guru. And many people told us about this, like how come it is that you speak to someone absolutely on their level and what they are thinking and what their thought process, everything, Shri Guru. The word Antaryami is just for you, Shri Guru. And one question I had, like when we ask our spiritual master to give us service and then we cannot do it properly or we do it full of aparadh, then what to do, Shri Guru, and how to become like अच्छे से कैसे कर सकते हैं, श्री गुरु?
Okay. First thing is, Paramatma is always involved all of us. No? So Paramatma in everyone's heart. So when Paramatma wants to give some message, and because the spiritual master is the speaker, no? So he inspires to speak in such a way the person who has the question. So Paramatma uses the spiritual master to speak out. Of course, the person wants to give credit to the manifest Paramatma, correct? So, so naturally Krishna is the connector, and we are only instrument. The spiritual master is also an instrument, but he is given the credit. The prerogative of giving all the credits to the spiritual master is of the disciple or the listener sometimes. So he thinks that, oh, how he is speaking the very thing I want to hear. So it is very very exciting or very astonishing, correct? But at the same time, it should not be surprising. Something could be astonishing, but it should not be surprising because Krishna can act, Paramatma can act and speak through anyone. So when it appears that as a Paramatma is speaking to the spiritual master, so one's faith in the spiritual master becomes. So it is also the function of Paramatma that for a sincere sadhaka, he causes the absolute faith in the spiritual master through such experiences. Now, the answer to your question regarding what was the question?
Service.
The question was regarding.
Like when we ask for service now, and then when we get
Oh,
we
yes, I got it. I got it. So it is all in the sentiments. Sentiment matters. Intention matters. Mata Yashoda, what she perfect in the service of Krishna. Krishna once wanted to remain absorbed in drinking from her breast. And Mother Yashoda thought it is better to protect the milk which is boiling over. Na? Correct? So even apparently Krishna demonstrated his displeasure and created chaos. Do we blame Mother Yashoda that she did anything wrong? This is just an extreme example. The whole idea is for sadhaka, uh, the spiritual master always wishes to come the best out of the disciple, the sadhaka. So actually, although it is not the nature, not at all the nature of the spiritual master to make any corrective or fault finding of that nature. No? One may appear as fault finding or correcting, but it is the pure kripa, the spiritual master. If someone is corrected by him, somebody is modified, or it only enhances the potential service. Correct. So one should never feel otherwise. It's a special privilege, It's a special privilege to be chastised and corrected and modified by the spiritual master, because we can always improve. Na? We should always think that we can excel many times. So, and if the correction comes from the spiritual master, it's a special privilege. One, we know that he has the best sentiments or best wishes for us in his heart. Correct. This is how one should appreciate that he's our best well-wisher. Krishna says, Suryam Sarva Bhutanam, I'm the well-wisher of everybody. But spiritual master is the manifest well-wisher Krishna is the unmanifest. So Krishna is like the unmanifest wish yielding tree. Rup Sanatana Goswami are the manifest, Prakat Kalpataru. So the spiritual master is the Prakat Krishna. And ultimately, on this path of pure devotional service, Manjari Bhav Upasaka, our Krishna is Srimati Radharani. So, spiritual master can be perceived as the Prakat Srimati Radharani. So, if Radharani, directs some correction, it's a special privilege, correct? It shows that she is not keeping any distance from us. She considers us very personal. That's all. Okay? Resolved?
Koti.
Nitai Gaur Premanande. So if somebody takes the pride, oh, see, spiritual master never chastised me ever. That means I have become so great. So this is not a very good consciousness. Rather, one should desire that yes, I can be excelled, but one should not deliberately do something just to get chastisement. Of course, Advaita Acharya deliberately did something because he wanted to become chastised because Mahaprabhu was showing him so much reverence, awe and reverence because of his elderly age. So he said, this is hurting me, this is paining that Mahaprabhu is giving me respect. So he spoke something, in favor of Mayavad. Then Mahaprabhu came and roared after him and chastised him. And he felt most fortunate. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All right? चलें बोलो आप सारी लगा दो कुछ
Krishna Shri Guru, Pranam Shri Guru.
Hare Krishna.
As
So
always, Shri Guru, fascinating satsang, Shri Guru. And again, especially all this so meditative contemplation and examples which you bring from the real life practical world, especially this one, Shri Guru, like how a husband and wife, they could be working for two different companies and on some secret mission, and they are not allowed to meet, but they know that
yes,
they know that they are husband and wife, and others those who know that they are husband wife. So although
they find it
it
very
is not,
exciting.
yes. Shiv, this example is so powerful. It's so, this illustration and so real life, so relatable and powerful. It brings out really the charm and beauty of Parakya Bhav and shows how actually the Parakya Bhav is the real Swakya Bhav. If we if
Yes,
can,
highest at the highest level
hmm,
because it's just the sentiment. It is not relation. Is not parkiya. Bhav has two meaning. Bhav also means sambandh and bhav also sentiment. So parkiya bhav means only in sentiments. But bhav also has a meaning of sambandh, relation. The relation. Who is Krishna's parkiya? Who can be independent of Krishna? Parkiya literally means outside the established relationship. Everybody has fixed relationship with Krishna since eternity and for eternity, correct? So nobody
hmm,
can be para is paraya. Paraya means outside of Krishna's connection. So nobody is Pariki of Krishna, literally. So it's just the sentiment imposed. And that's, the sentiment is most relishable every time they eventually meet. If they can openly meet without any, obstacle, without any, there's nothing exciting. If there is no possibility of unavailability, then that they will meet casually, like husband wife can meet anytime. But even when there's some, something, some endeavor is involved, then naturally they will find it very exciting. But they are the eternal divine God. They are the eternal husband and wife. We are their maid servants. So it's very attractive for the common message. Yeah, this makes sense. Example is good. But this discussing Radha Krishna is the only divine couple that will cause us to understand then who are we. If they are the only divine couple, we are their maid servant. Whether we are here playing a role as a husband or wife, we are both in Swarupa, their maid servant only. So that we can relish only them being the center of our consciousness and contemplation. Not becoming self-centered with my wife or my husband. This is my Krishna, this is my Radha. No. Only Radharani is Radharani, only Krishna is Krishna, and Radharani is for Krishna, and Krishna is for Radharani, and no one else. So our role becomes very clear. And this is the most difficult thing to, why I cannot be like Krishna or why I cannot be like Radha. Because we cannot be. Only Krishna is like Krishna, only Radharani is like Radharani. We are all their maid servants. Radharani is maid servant. Like that. Nidai go Primanande Hari Hari go.
Beautiful. Koti Koti Pranam, Shri Guru.
This Swamini Matyastu. All right then. Kirtaniya Sadari.
Hare Krishna. Pranam Shri Guru.
Nidai go Primanande Hari Hari.
We will all chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3 times with love and honor for our dear Shri Guru.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram.
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram.
Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna.
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama.
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram.
Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
With love, we will call out Om Vishwapad Param Uttara Srimad, His Divine Grace, Shri Swamini Kripa Murti Rupad Bhakti Swarup Govind Maharaj ki
Jai Ho, Jai
Amen.
Gurudev,
Nidai
Jai
Gaur
Jai
Bhaktivinoda ki Jai.
Gurudev.
Nidai Gaur Primanande Hari 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 Hari. Gaur Primanande Hari 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 Hari. Gaur Primanande Hari 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 Hari.
Hare
Gaur.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Everything normal?
हाँ श्री गुरु आप छोड़ गए जैसे हैं
Nothing is normal in this Sang Shri Guru.
Okay, in less than 1.5 hours, we'll join all in Kirtan. How about that?
That is only average.
Tai Gur Premanande, Hari Hari. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Gaur. You can all join. Or rather, you are all joined already. We are all together, correct? Joined eternally. All right. Fine. Nobody. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari 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 Gaur. Hari 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 Gaur.